Hey guys, what's going on? Today's video, we're going to be going over Blob and his success in the control archetype of Marvel Snap. And in today's video, we will be focusing on the Thanos build of the Blob archetype, as Thanos is the most natural slot for a Blob in your deck because of the automatic increase of your deck size. Your constant drawing of Infinity Stones allows for you to have priority throughout the game, so it gives you options to ramp up to cards like Professor X or Goliath with the use of the Time Stone, or even get out your Blob earlier, which is incredibly powerful if you've placed him correctly. So in the remainder of this video, I'm going to break down the deck into the two key components, your must-haves in the deck and your flex cards. And without further ado, let's get into the Infinity Blob deck. And as you can see, there are quite a few cards in this deck that I would put into the must-have category. Now, that doesn't mean you guys can't go ahead and replace them. There are some situations where you're not going to want some of these cards in your Thanos builds, but this is where I have found the most success so far in my playtesting. So we're going to go ahead and break down each of the cards individually, going from lowest mana to the highest energy costs. And first up, that means we'll be starting with Nico Minoru. And I have included Nico in this list because she is just an extremely versatile one-drop that allows you many potential gameplay options in a Thanos list. She can be drawn by the Mind Stone, which is huge if you need her. She can destroy cards to allow you to draw more cards, and she can just turn one of your weak Infinity Stones after it uses on-reel effect into a demon for 6 power. And moving on to Daredevil, he is a staple in control decks. The bug has been fixed, so you can officially see what you're looking at when an opponent plays on turn 5 now, and he just provides so much capability for you to lock down a lane with Professor X on turn 5, or if you've ramped up and have more energy with your Time Stone, you could see in early play and surprise somebody with an Goliath, or you could just kill something with your Shang-Chi. Many options that Daredevil allows you with this deck. We're going to say this about Jeff in every single video. Jeff is just one of the most versatile cards in the game. He is able to get into your Professor X lane if you need a little extra energy. People always forget sometimes that he has the ability to move into another lane. People just think he's going to stay put and he can just win you games. He is just valuable overall. And I have Shang-Chi as a must-have in this deck because of the current meta. There is a ton of large stuff out there. Obviously in mirror matches you're going to be seeing gigantic blobs, and if they get out early you can sneak out a Shang-Chi and kill them. Thanos is a Shang-Chi target. There's many options. I also include Shang-Chi because I've included Goliath. Usually you're only going to be able to play one of those in a game, but it gives you two options. If you have prio in the last turn, you can be using your Goliath and just winning the lane, or you can wait and then you can still kill a large target with your Shang-Chi and still win you lanes. Blue Marvel is in this list because Blue Marvel is a staple in Thanos lists. He gives out power to all your Infinity Stones, and if you're not drawing any of your big things in the game, you can try to win with the old Blue Marvel Infinity Stone lower cost minions to win the game. Devil Dinosaur also works extremely well in this deck because you're constantly going to be drawing cards and having potentially clunky hands if you're not drawing any of your low cost Infinity Stone cards. Although I would put him on the lower end of the must-haves, and if you're not running the Iron Lad variant of the list, he might not be performing as well potentially. And Professor X is a staple in control lists, which this is a control list with the Daredevil build. As I said, you can see where you need to play him on turn 5 with Daredevil. You have a chance to Time Stone him out very early and get him out on turn 4 and completely lock down a lane, surprisingly. You have Jeff to put into a Professor X lane if you need to. You can also have Jeff in a lane and then Professor X, and then if you've already won the power with whatever you have in there, you can move Jeff out at the end of the game and win something else. And a lot of this time, this deck is going to have priority going into turn 6. So Alioth is incredibly strong in that situation. He will just win you games, right? You're going to run into a lot of players that are playing Invisible Woman right now. And the new update to Alioth just completely destroys Invisible Woman decks, which could be Blobs or Living Tribunal variations. And Alioth just wins those. And if you're not going to Alioth, you have the option to use your Shang-Chi as well. And that moves us on to the new card of the week, Blob. And Blob is extremely powerful for pretty much most deck variations. He's going to have value no matter what on turn 6, because on average you're going to have probably 3 to 4 cards left in your deck at the end of the game, so he's gonna get value. He's gonna be like a 6/11 probably on average, but in this variation of the deck with all your other minions in here, he is going to get an exponential increase, and if you can get him out earlier, he could become a 30-50 power, who knows. And if you've properly laned him up, you're just gonna win the game. And finally, Thanos. You can't play this deck list without Thanos. He's the big bad. He gives you all the Infinity Stones that increase the size of your deck for your Blob, but these Infinity Stones also give you various options to ramp or draw cards, spread out power with your Blue Marvel. Thanos is very good. He's been underrated in the last few months in metas, I would say, but Blob is probably going to highlight him significantly, and you are going to see him for the significant future. And that just about covers all of the must-haves in this deck, so we're going to move on to what I would consider the flex slots of this deck. And if you were paying attention in the last section, you saw that I had 10 cards in the must-haves, but I have 5 cards in this flex slot. I've included all the cards that I think can fall on the flex location. I have them split up into 2 categories, your lower cost flex and kind of your higher cost flex. We'll start with the lower cost flex in this situation. First off, Shadow King. He's very valuable. He can just make Blob, if you're going against an opponent Blob, back to a 4 power, or if you're going against Shuris or even Thanos that have been bumped up, you can reduce their power. Now, Shadow King is not as needed in the list I currently have because I'm running Shang-Chi and Alioth, which kind of cover everything he has, so I haven't been playing him as much, but he is still useful, especially if you want to try slotting 1 or 2 of those out of the deck. Armor is a flex card just because there's so much destroy in the meta all the time. Armor is kind of useful. There's a ton of Killmonger in the meta as well, so if you're trying to be more proactive and saving your Infinity Stones or your Nico, your lower cost 1-drops, then you might want to play Armor in your list. I have Killmonger in most of my lists right now just because of how many 1-drops are prevalent in the meta, especially now that Thanos has been reintroduced. If you're playing in the mirror matchup, you know you have Killmonger, you can get him out there earlier, take away some of his Infinity Stones, gain yourself back priority. You can also use him to kill Sunspots and Nebulas if you're running into those. And in the more expensive flex cards, I have Miss Marvel and Iron Lad. Now, I have been playing more with Miss Marvel because I'm finding her more consistent than the randomness of Iron Lad. Iron Lad still is very strong because there's a bunch of abilities from your Infinity Stones that you can get on him, and he just is generally useful for 6 stat line. Never going to complain about Iron Lad. Miss Marvel I found more useful, as I said, because she can split her power over into a lockdown Professor X lane, or if you roll a bad location. So I've been running Miss Marvel more, but Iron Lad is a perfectly acceptable flex, I would say. And guys, if you made it this far into the video, I wanted to remind you to like, comment, and subscribe. And without further ado, let's get into some of the infinite gameplay. And first up, we have Woe. And in this video, I decided to start using the deck tracker for Marvel Snap, so let me know how you guys think about that. And the Newcastle Blackstone location is a great in this Thanos list. You have an opportunity to just ramp up extremely quick, so I'm going to take a full advantage and try to outclass this guy quickly. I'm snapping here because I'm going to get this early Professor X out, and he doesn't want to play. Victory. And next up we have Timothy. Throne Room is not a terrible first location. I'm gonna hold on to Reality Stone just in case there's a negative location. And it is the Thanos mirror matchup. I can only assume he's playing Blob as well. I don't really like playing Time Stone on turn 2 usually, but I know I have Iron Lad in my hand, so I would have a ramp play available to me. And I don't like holding on to stones for too long because they do provide card draw. But I'll just go with the Reality Stone, try to change things up, and ramp up to a 5 mana card here. I'm gonna go ahead and the White Hot Room, and we're gonna try to get a sneaky fill up of the location by putting the Space Stone on the far right location. I'm gonna be able to fill up and move away with Jeff. So I'm gonna head and move away the Time Stone, move over the lower power, play Iron Lad, play Power Stone. Should just win me the location rather than doing a Jeff. The Iron Lad hitting our Devil Dinosaur is huge. That really locks down that location. His Maximus is not going to be enough for him. So we're just going to throw Jeff down in the middle location and throw down a Blue Marvel. And that should be enough power that he's not going to compete, and he may even concede. And with a Vision being plopped down, he's not going to run away, but I know he can't go anywhere. So this Goliath is going to win me the game no matter what in this right lane. Even if the Vision moves, I have priority. Goliath will delete everything in front of him, and I will win the game. And as predicted, he moves the Vision, but he can't play anything in the right lane, and another victory. And in our final game today, we have TS Pin Triple. And Aunt May's is not a terrible location for us. We're not going to Mind Stone on that location because it's not valid. If you can play Mind Stone on turn 1 as Thanos, you are going to likely win the game. I think it's one of the better plays. And here I'm going to stack up on Gamma Lab, and I'm going to just get rid of Aunt May's. And he goes ahead and throws the Demon down from his hood and the Wasp. He's trying to bulk up on Gamma Lab. I'm going to throw Space Stone on there to get one more, and then I'm going to throw Time Stone and Soul Stone onto Hotel Inferno and try to lock down priority in that position as well. And we can move somebody into the middle location, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to throw down Devil Dinosaur here and keep a stacked hand, I think. And we know he's going to have an Annihilus gameplay here at some point. Ooh, and we draw Goliath, and we have priority. So our goal here is going to be to keep up a priority. I can't really fill up the right lane and stop Annihilus from happening, so I'm just going to throw a Blue Marvel down and keep my left 2 lanes prio up. And now it just comes down to the 50-50 with Goliath. I don't think he's going to have enough power to win the middle lane, so I'm going to go left, and I win the game. And that's another victory. So if you guys want to see more gameplay, let me know. This deck has been pretty successful. It's a very flooded meta with Blob decks, so you're going to see a lot of mirror matchups if you're playing right now. It should get you some good wins, though. Should help you climb rank. So guys, that's the Infinity Blob deck. If it works out for you, let me know. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one.